Boom, what's going on, you guys? My condolences to that individual and that situation and their family. When it comes to unarmed security, I'm not 100% sure if he was unarmed or if he was a law enforcement officer, but in either case, the tactical protection review, the things that I would say would be, obviously your first line of defense is your situational awareness. But beyond that, if you're at an unarmed post as a private security professional, I personally, with my company, we don't employ unarmed security unless we're going to a venue or an environment that has other concentric rings of security already in place, like Vegas. Those venues have security that makes sure no one else is armed in that environment, and even then you don't really know. But I don't necessarily believe in unarmed security because, in my opinion, it's somewhat oxymoronic. If you have a uniform on, you've got to understand that you're going to be dealing with a relative threat level to that uniform that has to do with what you're protecting. If you're in front of a bank, you're going to be dealing with that threat level with no weapon. If you're protecting, a high net worth individual, the list goes on and on. So when you're in an unarmed format, you're there with an expressed mission to observe and report. This is your mission. However, when you have a uniform on, you're highlighting yourself as the authority in that environment until the police show up. So if you're highlighting yourself in an environment that has enough of a threat level to require security, in my opinion, you should be equipped with weapons to defend yourself, that environment, and ideally any weapon that the enemy can bring to bear, essentially, so that you can actually find yourself in a fair fight. So, my condolences for this individual who found himself in that situation. I think that, whether you're in law enforcement or you're a private security professional, you've got to understand that if you have a uniform on, you're going to be possibly the very first target. So you've got to be on your game. I don't know if this guy was or wasn't on his game, but in a society now that's making light of law enforcement and making light of these positions that are there to ensure order, and in a political climate where you may not have the backup that you deserve for doing the job that you're trying to do, we've got to make sure that we are getting our training in, that we're on top of our game. Whether he was armed, he got disarmed, or he was not armed, I think it's really important for us all to realize that if you're doing any of these things, if you're a first responder, if you're a private security professional, you are writing a blank check every single day that you go to work. And if you are not able to perform on that day, you can find yourself in a situation that you're not going to be able to get out of. This is why with my podcast, with my executive protection school, and with my brand, the slogan is, this is more than just a job. Protection requires a lifestyle. So once again, my condolences in this situation. But I hope that it's something that can take us all to a place inside where we can look at ourselves and we can be inspired at the reality of the situation to become better professionals, because what we do is not to be taken lightly. This is Byron Rodgers, protector by nature and by trade, encouraging you to train with us, whether it's at my executive protection school or at one of the live events, the Protector Symposiums, and reminding you to be peaceful but not harmless. Out. Boom!